Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning in to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Gene Collier in just moments, and we're talking Pitt basketball and the situation that's going on right there. Dan Hurley, they offered him a big contract, but UConn offered him a job too. Not as much money as Pitt, but it sounds like that's where he's leaning. He thinks, I don't know what he thinks because I haven't talked to him, but it sounds like I'm just assuming here that maybe they perceive UConn as a better job than Pitt right now, and there's a lot of word outside of the Connecticut area that thinks that he's going to take that job. But who knows what can happen in these coaching searches, and I think if it's a significant amount of money talks, and you're talking about $1 million a year, and if it's a multi-year deal, you're millions of dollars, 5, 10, whatever it might be, and that's a lot of money, Gene, in a certain situation like this. And I think maybe that's probably one of the things he's weighing. Pitt came in with their highest and best, and it might be good enough to win them over, but we'll see how this whole thing plays out. I still believe and get the feeling that UConn's going to win out in this whole thing, even if they come close. If it's $500,000 off, it sounds like they feel more comfortable. At least that side feels more comfortable up there. Or do you think it's just because of Pitt's bad situation right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've been saying on this show, and I still think it holds. I mean, we can't assume that people think Pitt has a good job. I mean, they can offer all kinds of money, but it's not a good situation. Players are bailing out all the time. You know, I think it was telling that the numbers on the Pitt deal or the Pitt offer kind of leaked before the UConn numbers. That's usually indicates there's a play being made by the coach's agent to get more money from the other school. It wouldn't surprise me if Hurley signed at UConn for less than what is the reported Pitt offer, but I still don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to go there, but for more money.
Yeah, I was told yesterday, and we reported yesterday, that Pitt did offer him the job, didn't know the financial terms of it, but she gave him a timeline, a day or so, that he has to make up his decision. And this falls right into this timeline, and it sounds like, you know, I did hear that that there might be a play to try to get more money. They're leveraging UConn, and that's exactly what's happening here. Stuff like this is definitely leaked from the agent. There would be no reason for Pitt to leak this kind of information because they won him.
No, exactly right. And, of course, this is college basketball at its best. Who can we hire that's not tainted by scandal, and how much do we have to pay him that's more than the president of the university or probably anybody in the state?
Well, and you look at Pitt's situation right now, $3 million. That's a significant commitment. That would put him in the top 15, whatever it is, 3.2, 3.5, 3 point something. Puts him as one of the highest paid coaches in college basketball. Do you think this is overpaying for a guy?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Pitt should not be trying to play basketball on that. I mean, I don't care. I don't care who knows this. You're selling your soul there on the altar of basketball. It's not what a university should be doing.
Do you think that because of the situation, and the fans have spoke basically, that they're not coming for a mediocre product, that they have to recoup some of this money, make a splash hire, try to find the right guy, maybe the right fit, the steak and the sizzle kind of is what I think that they're looking for right now with the guy. They have to hit a home run on a coach, hiring a coach, but you have to get a splash name in here, or you're going to lose, what, $10, $20 million in revenue and ticket sales.
Yeah, Pitt's in a really bad spot, and they put themselves in it by hiring Kevin Stallings and pushing Jamie Dixon out. You know, there's no yeah, they can come back from it, but not in 4 years, 6 years. I mean, they're looking at a long, tough road.
We hear a lot of rumors, and there's a lot of speculation out there that Sean Miller has reached out. Pitt doesn't want Miller this time around. You know, it's funny how things change in 2 years, how they wanted him 2 years ago, and now Miller wants to come here, obviously because of that whole thing that's going on at Arizona.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Not only just at Arizona, but all over the country.
All over the country.
College basketball.
Do you think the NCAA would basically cut off its nose to spite its face and, you know, do something to all these coaches or all these programs or really look into it? I know the FBI is looking into it, but I would think if I'm the NCAA, I don't want to ruin college basketball.
You've already ruined it. I mean, how much worse can it get? The NCAA right now is waiting for the report by the committee headed up by Condoleezza Rice. It was put together, I guess, last summer, charged with making a report. That won't be out until April, and we'll see what they have to say about it. But even the NCAA, who's partly significantly responsible for the mess that is college basketball, has said, I mean, the charge to that committee is, look, no half measures, no tweaks. We need a system blown up here. You tell us how you want it to come out. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, college basketball is a mess.
Well, we'd like to get your ideas out there. Give us a call tonight. 412-575-2600 is the number. Phone lines are open, and we're ready to hear what you have to say. Back in a couple minutes.